Before the video starts, head down below, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Check out all our socials in the description and hope you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Welcome back, episode 15.
Episode 15, Offbeat Podcast. Welcome back, everybody. How are you, Dan?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm alright, not too bad. Special guest today, aren't we?
Depends on how you define special, I suppose, isn't it?
I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it up there and we'll see. So we've got Aaron Wood joining us.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, appreciate it.
Insert crowd noise. There's not going to be a crowd. Tony's in there clapping and cheering. I should have got it to actually. Yeah. So yeah, purpose. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm Aaron Wood, and I know Luke through my girlfriend. So that's about as far. It's about as far as we can go.
Yeah, so that's why we got you on.
She's my agent. That's what she is. Yeah.
She's trying to get his girlfriend on.
She's too busy. Yeah.
She's been making skirting boards,
She's
didn't
been
she?
doing the DIY at the house, and that's about it.
Love that. Fair enough. Well, do you want to introduce a little bit about your spare time? What do you tend to get up to?
I do stand up. Is that what you're hinting at?
That's what I'm hinting at.
Super vague.
I thought you were gonna just go into
just
something.
came on and was like, I don't know, yeah, just anything really. I don't really know.
I mean, I like my computer.
Yeah.
Got a bit there.
Yeah, not anymore. Don't do that anymore.
No, you got let go, didn't you?
Yeah. So it's a long story.
Why you go mobile?
I'm basically going to settle from home. So if you do need a haircut, let me know.
Yeah. Oh, my barber, he actually watches this. He's going to be fuming you said that. You're going to have...
If you come out with a fresh fade now and he's not sorted it.
It's going to look so dodgy as well. Next week's episode, he's not seen you. Have you seen the video of the guy that chases his barber down?
Yeah.
That booty talking to me. The song that's on it, never mind.
It's so much easier though. Like, my barber's mobile. I tend to go in a shop one day a week. But it's so much easier when you can just come in.
You go once a week?
You go in the shop 1 day a week?
No, he's in once a week.
Oh, right.
He's in the shop, but you can just come and do whenever, and it's so much easier.
Because I've never seen you with a fresh haircut. Imagine he's getting done twice a week.
No,
I've never seen it. I've never looked at him and been like, "Oh, he's just had that done." Do you know what I mean?
I'm not a vain guy. I don't give a shit. Yeah. I have my haircut once every 3 weeks, and that's good. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
To be honest, I got mine done a day before coming to Feel Good the other day. And I saw the camera from the back. I was like, "Ooh, he's like,
hello." Well, you don't know. He just open his camera when he's full of screenshots straight away.
The amount of people that fucking message the page or tag their mates and be like, "Oh look, there's us," and then the mate just doesn't reply because they don't want to admit because they're the one that's eating pizza in the background.
Yeah. The amount of times I'm pulling some random faces and I'm like,
yeah,
was it that funny?
We always try to get the one that's where everyone's laughing because we've had some people I don't know if you've looked at people, but they look miserable as fuck. During the setups, the jokes, they just sat there.
Do you know what?
It looks like the deadest night ever, and I'm constantly saying to Beth because she does a lot of the pictures for me because I'm like, my head's just you've seen me when I'm and I'm always like, well, just wait for him to get a punchline, but then you can be stood there for a little bit, Joe, where you stood for 2 minutes waiting for the guy to do a punchline. You just it's a proper pain in the arse sometimes.
I find that weird as well because there's one guy who was there the other week.
Jurassic
Attenborough, and he looked like he was having the worst time in the world. And then after the gig, he came up to you and he was absolutely buzzing.
Which one's that?
He had everyone took a piss out of him because he had a hat on, like cowboy sort of hat on. Looked like David Attenborough.
Jurassic Park was the joke.
Yeah.
The joke for the night.
I don't remember at all.
Yeah, and he just looked like he wanted to hurt someone constantly. And then I remember at the end of the night, because I came over to say bye, and he was just fucking loving you. And he was like...
Was it the guy on the right? And I said, thanks for coming out. And he was like, I'm not gay. And yeah, no, he came... To be fair, he was the loveliest guy in the world, because I went up to him, and he actually got a bit deep. He was like, I've not really been out much because of COVID and stuff, and I'm really glad that I came out here tonight. And it was, and I just felt really bad for thinking that he was a knobhead for the last 2 hours. But you're right, he did look like he just hated his life.
He just wasn't laughing at all, and then he was proper buzzing at the end of the night. I was like,
he's the one that will come every week as well.
Yeah,
and just sit there on the front row, and every comic will just be dead insecure like that because they're just staring at this guy.
So a bit of backstory for anyone that doesn't know. So you run your own comedy night, don't you?
Yes. Yeah.
It got a shout out on Have a Word, didn't it, the other day?
Yeah. When are you guys on the couch, by the way?
Well, we both
Have a Word.
Dan messaged us. Have they messaged you yet?
No. No, why would they?
Yeah, but you got no one gets a shout out and Have a Word.
I know, and that's
you got a shout out.
For a few years, yeah.
I was buzzing. I was watching because I was watching the page on a Saturday morning, and as soon as I was like, Tony was in a bath. I was like, Tony! I was like, come! And then she came running in, and then you were just there and just talking about you, and I was filming myself like. Fucking go on,
Well,
Aaron.
Dan had told me. So do you know how he's doing like the last Beat the Frog?
Yes,
Like,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
retiring for it, basically. I wasn't on the Patreon at the time because it sounds so ridiculous, but when you're buying a house, you hear so many horror stories. And, like, I heard a story of a guy that got like downloaded a girl's OnlyFans and then couldn't get a mortgage because he like, always got a sex addiction and just fucked him up. So I was like, there's no way I'm signing up to have a word at Patreon and then just fucking losing the chance of getting a mortgage. So I was like, I'm not signing up until we've got the house.
I
So
mean,
I wasn't on it.
OnlyFans, Patreon. I think
House. Like, you want it all to I basically didn't sign up, and then the Beat the Frog went on sale, and then it went just out, sold out like within before it even went on general sale. So I messaged Dan and was like,
hello,
is it sold out? Any chance? And he said, yeah, I'll sort you out. And then he said, like, you actually got a name check for it on the latest episode. So I was like, I was looking out for it like that. Come on, get to the good bit. Like, I know you're making people laugh, but come on.
mention my name, please.
Sat there best next to me, I'm like,
you have 4 cameras all set up ready to record it straight
I'm
away.
going to actually clip it, I think, from the episode and use it as like a bit. I'm going to get like some
like
footage
promo.
of the night. And,
Yeah.
It's just so much effort, like trying to edit clips when you're trying to move house at the same time. We didn't have Wi-Fi for so long.
Oh, it's an effort, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remember when we first moved into it took us like 10 days to get Wi-Fi. That hotspotting I did was so annoying.
Well, that's it. I was watching Netflix with my hotspot, and then like I'd go for a piss, and Beth would be like, "Fuck's sake, come within range." I'm like,
It's a nightmare. I trying to buy a house now, and it's just stressful.
We bought the first house with you, the first and only house. We didn't view
Really?
anywhere else. We just viewed it and was like, that'll do.
That'll do.
Well, we liked it.
Because
But
it looks from pictures that I've seen.
Yeah, it's
nice.
sick.
it is nice. I mean, it's a typical new build. So, like, if the fucking next door burps, then we'd know what they had for dinner.
Yeah.
Like, it's that sort of fucking. It's horrible. Like, you can hear absolutely everything. She gets up, and I just at like 7 a.m. to go to work, and I'll be laying in bed, and I can hear her open the curtains downstairs. Like, I'm not kidding, because like the curtains are directly underneath my head, essentially. And I can hear her open.
Is it
mate.
literally like paper thin then?
Oh, horrendous. Like, we've been trying to put like TVs and stuff on the wall, and I'm there like Googling plasterboard fixings, like which one's got the most reviews. And then there's like, you go on the reviews and it'll be like 4.8 stars out of 5.
Yeah.
7,000 reviews, but you click one guy's picture and his fucking walls just you're like,
Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll leave that.
Yeah,
I think
not been ideal.
I think I'm buying like it's a stone house, so it's like 200 odd years old, and I'm just scared that
Those walls will be like.
yeah, but
Proper
like,
walls.
it's
They're
gonna
gonna
be
be solid
fucking
walls,
freezing
but
in
yeah.
there, innit? It's gonna be
Yeah.
cold. Oh well, it should be alright.
it'll be fine.
It's with how tight you are with the eating.
Yeah. It's first thing Tony said as Dan walked in today. He's like, oh, hey Dan, you alright? How was your gig? And I was like, oh yeah, Luke's tired of eating. It's freezing here, innit? How was that a conversation starter?
Well, but me and Beth have been talking about this recently because we're so boring now. Like
Oh,
she'll
right,
sit.
yeah.
I was in the toilet the other day, and she came upstairs, knocked on the toilet door, and I was like, "What's up?" And she goes, "Oh, tomorrow, do you fancy going to that Notcuts Garden Centre so we can get a plant?" And I just went, "Do you want to repeat your sentence back to yourself, hear it, and then leave me alone?" Because I think these sort of conversations. I'm 24 and you're 22, and these are and then we went the next day. We went to Notcuts, and I was stood there. I'm 24 and I'm looking at fucking plants in the garden centre. Why is this my life?
It is, but I was
Was
talking.
it interesting though when you were there?
No.
No, not because he's sick. You can feed the fish and all sorts.
Oh yeah, but it stunk, so I went away from it.
Oh, no.
Made
Did
me
you go
feel a
near
bit sad.
rabbits?
No, I didn't know
There's
there was
rabbits?
There's
Is it
rabbits.
Pets Home or a bloody garden centre?
No, it's a garden. Have you never been?
No.
Oh, mate, you need to go. So it's got like a pets bit. It's got a whole fish bit. I mean, it's got like a guinea pigs, rabbits, and they're just all like sprinting around. You can't get in, but.
Did you try it?
Try it. I got my way in.
Prise it open.
Hey up, Peter lad.
But yeah, Notcuts is sick.
Yeah.
I rate it.
Well, we might end up getting.
If you're watching.
yeah, shout out, Notcuts. We end up going to B&Q. Got a plant from there in the end.
Do you enjoy B&Q? Have you got to that stage
Oh
yet?
mate, I hate B&Q.
You hate B&Q?
I've hated B&Q since I was about 14 years old and I first tried to put up a shelf.
I hate
Because
B&Q.
No one helps you in there.
Just
I think they get buzzing with the fact that you don't know what you're doing.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think they just laugh at people who aren't manly enough.
Do you know where the XYZ is? Yeah, it's over there. It's like your shop's 9,000 square feet. Like,
Yeah.
Do you know what I hate? I hate it when you ask like, oh yeah, do you have like a screw, and they start listing all the different screw types, and I'm like, I've got no idea. And they're like, do you want a crosshead? Do you want a flat? Do you want this? Do you want this? I was like,
Mate.
I don't know. Like you working, I don't.
B&Q since I went in once and I was looking for a light bulb. That's where my fucking life is, right? So I was looking for this light bulb and I brought the light bulb with me. Yeah. So it was one of those ones that you put. It was a bathroom one.
Yeah.
So it looked like a pretzel. You know what I mean? It wasn't a typical light bulb. You know what I'm saying? So I took it down.
A pretzel.
But I don't know what that's called. So I thought I'm just going to take the light bulb with me and I'll go.
Just take a pretzel with you and say I want this.
Just matching like fucking. And I went up to this guy and he was on the light bulb section. So I figured. Probably gonna know, and I went up to him and I was like, "Hey mate, and after a light bulb matches this, you sell them here." And he literally looked me in the eye and just went, "Fuck knows, mate," and walked off like I was the dickhead. And I genuinely, I sort of respected it though. Do you know what I mean?
I was like, I rate that.
I was like, yeah, I wish I could give that little shit. That's amazing, and I've hated it ever since. Because the customer service just doesn't exist.
No.
Shout out Stockport B&Q because I fucking...
If you're watching.
Maybe don't shout out.
Yeah, don't
You've
go.
named him, shamed him now. He's going to be looking through the CCTV now.
I actually got pulled up in there once because I went into... Do you know you can get the fucking... Honestly, mate, I've got so many stories about B&Q. Do you know you can get the little baggies of fucking, like, screws? So you pick out a medium bag, you can fill it with as much as you want. I needed, like, 10 screws. I thought, I'm not getting a bag. Like, you can fit about 400 screws in this bag. I'm not getting that. So I'll just fucking... No one's going to know if I just pocket these 10 screws. B&Q... Mr.
You tried to steal 10 screws?
Mr. B&Q
I swear they're like £2. I swear it's like £2 for a bag.
Yeah, but to be honest, I couldn't be bothered shoveling all these screws into a tiny bag. Like, because if I'm buying it, I want my money's worth. So if I just steal it, it'll be fine. This is like 20p's worth of screws. So
so is it like no one's going to be out?
Yeah, so it's like a pick a mix for screws. It's pathetic. And I was stood there looking at these screws, and I just sort of put them in my pocket. It was like, fucking, no one's going to know. Yeah, this will be fine. And no bullshit. This guy came next to me, and this fucking big bouncer guy. He looked like he should have been stood outside 42. So he just went, "Do you want them to your back pocket, mate? You're not really meant to put the screws there." And I went, I don't know what you mean. There wasn't enough bags. There was like 100 bags. And I sort of tried to explain to him that I was going to get them out of my pocket at the counter and just be like, "I've got some bags. I've got some bags of screws." And he was having none of it. And he just said, "Well, don't do it again," and walked away. And I was like, why did you come over to me to do nothing?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
That's baffling.
Like, I don't know what he hoped to gain from it. Like, because he didn't make me pay for them. I still stole the screws. Like, they were in my pocket. Do you know what I mean?
You didn't even put them back.
No, he came over to me and was like, "Don't do it again." It's like you finding someone coming and getting burgled, and as he's taking your TV, "Listen, don't do this again, lad." Like, it just made no fucking sense at all. Yeah, I don't like B&Q. It really triggers me.
I mean, it's very Stockport of you to go in and steal 10 screws.
Yeah.
So it's very Stockport, yeah.
I mean, I'm offended, to be fair.
Yeah, so we'll move on. Move on. So, comedy. So, you're a professional stand-up comedian, aren't you?
No.
You get paid to do it. You're a pro.
That doesn't mean anything.
Right, semi-pro.
And I don't really get paid that often.
What's your biggest? Didn't you do a massive gig recently, like in the Lowry or something?
Yeah, I supported Tom Stade on his tour, but even they're not like it's more for the experience of doing that. It's not like super
Tom
paid.
Stade's a
Like,
big
we'll go
comic.
into the, what's the word I'm looking for? The
ins
ins
and
and outs
outs.
of it, off camera sort of thing. But you don't get loads of money. It's more just to be able to say I've done that. Like, I went and supported a guy on his tour. A few days ago, and I went there under the implication it was unpaid. He paid me in the end, but I went all the way to Peterborough, which was like fucking full tank of fuel, had to buy food and stuff, and then it was going to be unpaid just so I could put this on my CV to say that I've done it. He ended up paying me, which was lovely of him.
Was this Ignacio
Lopez? Yeah, were you there?
I was there.
Yeah,
he was.
So we got
very
hammered
funny.
together in his fucking hotel. Afterwards, we ate pizza and stuff and just got hammered, and he invited me to open for him. But we did it under the implication like that I wasn't going to be getting paid.
Yeah.
Because he said that he can either just not have an opener and make more money, or he can pay an opener for something he could do himself. So I was like, I'd do it
Makes
unpaid
sense.
to be fair, just so I've done it. And he was like, "Alright, sound." But then he did pay me, which was just lovely of him. But like I say, you go as far as Peterborough for no money. I'm going to Cardiff. Is it this Friday? Yeah, it's this Friday. Is it this Friday? Don't
know why you're asking.
Yeah, as if you're my agent. No, I'm going to Cardiff on Friday for 20 quid. But it'll lead to more if I do that. You know what I mean? So it's a weird one. Like, every stand-up says the same. It's just a hobby that got out of hand.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to play golf, you'd spend $1,000 on clubs.
Yeah.
You'd never make any money for it. But then one day maybe you'll do a competition. You'll do well with it, and you just get obsessed with stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, he's a DJ, so he's
Yeah.
exactly the same.
Yeah. So you do it for how many times you paid your rent with exposure?
Oh,
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
my rent
brilliant.
is like fucking 1,000 exposures. It's
Is that what they say? Like, oh, we'll get your name on a poster.
Well, you get so many people that are like, oh, if you do this, you know, it'll lead to bigger things for you. And you're like, did you see the things going around on Twitter recently of like everyone just calling out like the boss and people and just like people that have messaged them hoping for things for free? There was a guy that would write songs personally for weddings and stuff, and this woman was like, well, are you going to do it for free? And he was like, no. And he's like, but there's going to be a lot of people at our weddings. He's like, all right, have a whip round. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not doing the song for free. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Imagine if people would have said, so I've never thought about this, but what if a guest says to us, do we pay? Imagine
I
that.
don't know. Do people pay podcast guests?
I don't know.
know.
We've never been asked it. Every guest we've had
Keepstar
on
might
have been
want
like,
money.
yeah, sound. Yeah.
I think it's sometimes.
So I was thinking that.
I think it's not uncommon that you pay travel. But when you get to a certain level, sort of like have a word and people like that, like people want to come on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I think it's sort of the done thing. Like if I'm travelling from London to do your podcast in Runcorn, pay my train, lad. Do you know what I mean? I think that happens a lot.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, you want to do it a lot of the time.
Definitely.
Like if let's say this has a theme, and let's say science is a theme, and I'm a fucking scientist, and you're desperate for my knowledge and insight, then yeah, pay me. But if you're just a comic and you want to go on this comedy podcast, they don't have to pay you.
Yeah.
They might offer, which is great of them, but you wouldn't even, I can't imagine many would even accept.
No, I don't think
that
so.
That is worth the exposure. Do you know what I mean?
And they've all got podcasts.
Yeah.
All the comics that
so
go on
you're
have
plugging your
all
old one.
they've all
So
got
they know the
podcasts
drill.
themselves.
Yeah.
There's some funny guests on there though.
I mean,
Most of my comedic knowledge has come from Have a Word.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've like Have a Word's helped sell out some of the nights that feel good. Like I'm pretty sure Brennan was a sellout like 2 days in advance, and I'm pretty sure that was because of Have a Word.
Definitely.
I spoke with Brennan and I said like, are you a sellout guy anywhere? Because this has been like he was on like the 8th show, and we sold quite a lot of them out, which we're really pleased about. But his was like noticeably like, we've sold this out 3 days in advance. This doesn't make sense. And I asked him, and he said no, it just depends on the area.
Yeah, we both went, Brennan, didn't we?
Yeah. Like, I remember you saying he was on. I was like, definitely going. Just go heard him and have a word.
And he was so funny.
He was funny,
and just like other guests are having on, like Alfie Brown. I'd love to go and see Alfie Brown live now.
Yeah.
I bet he's well funny.
Yeah, did you watch him when he guest hosted it recently?
Yeah, he was pissed.
Look
funny.
at us talking about someone else's podcast. Fuck off, Adam, you twats.
This is all we do.
On your podcast, just fucking telling everyone what Have a Word did on their podcast.
I feel like we're too nice as well. Should we start some beef?
Shall we start beef?
Who should we insult?
It works for Jackmate and KSI.
Yeah,
and stuff,
should we
doesn't it?
Get some diss tracks going.
Cal Freezy, this fella's podcast.
I look like him as well, don't I?
yeah. We got the pro. We got the bigger and better Cal Freezy.
Yeah. That's like, yeah.
Burnt chip, you little shit. Oh yes, I'm
This
gonna write
track's
a
starting.
diss track. He's from Oldham as well. Probably nice lad. Yeah, he's from Oldham. You can tell what you listen to their podcast, can't you?
I remember when I got told I looked like Cal Freezy once. I remember exactly where I was, and it's so vivid. Like I've got genuine like memories of like good things that have happened to me in my life, and I can't really remember them as well as I can remember this little shit. I was at one of my mates.
Oh, so you're not happy? What's wrong with Cal Freezy then?
Look at you trying to...
Can you make it 10 minutes?
No, he's a lovely looking guy. But one of my mates does Muay Thai, and I went to go and watch him and support him. And I walked into this bathroom, and there's some little kid in a fucking like gi was like, "Oh, that guy's Cal Freezy. He looks like Cal Freezy." And I turned around and seen his black belt. I was like, "That's not a fight." He was literally like 8 years old, and I thought if that was anyone else, I'd have said something. But he's fucking.
But you
went
went
getting battered by.
Yeah,
all right, mate, yeah.
Have a nice.
He was literally about 8 years old. So he'd have probably battered me. No,
I'd love to see that fight.
Yeah.
What's the youngest age, you reckon?
What's the youngest black belt you could beat in a fight?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Well, if they're all black belts, probably none of them. Like,
Nah, come on. If a 3-year-old's a black belt, you can easily just boot him in the face.
Yeah, a 3-year-old's a black belt. Yeah, mint.
Well, no, hypothetically, if they were a black belt,
Started training at minus 10 years old.
yeah. No, they've just got a good dad.
Good genetics.
Good
Dad.
genetics.
What's one of them? Can't relate.
Yeah, but you can easily boot a kid in the face.
Yeah, tell us more.
No, I reckon.
Speaking from experience.
No, a 6-year-old black belt, I reckon I could beat in a fight. Do you not agree?
Maybe not you. I reckon like maybe Dan or me. Maybe not you.
He's softer than me. He'd try and cuddle it to death.
Yeah, so he'd learn the kid into
Maybe not. Okay.
Moving on.
And weirdly, that's not the worst thing we've said on here as well.
Yeah.
I won't ask the worst because that's the point in it. You don't want to repeat it.
Yeah. Let's just say I've only ever edited one thing intentionally out.
What was it?
I'll repeat it after this, but yeah, you'll find it funny. I found it funny.
Yeah.
No one else would.
You shouldn't edit anything out, you coward.
Well,
Yeah,
it's just the one thing we've edited out. We tried to make it, but it was a case of.
You said the N-word, didn't you?
No.
You did.
I reckon you could pull it off, honestly. Try it.
Give it a try run now.
See how you feel.
You're very good at this.
Look at how you're sweating already.
I'm sweating. How about you say it tomorrow?
Yeah.
You say it tomorrow and I'll say it next
Are
week.
you coming to the show tomorrow?
I don't know yet.
Oh, well, I'll tell you I've said it if you're not there. Yeah, I said it. They loved it, yeah.
I do want to come though because it's the rapper, innit?
Yeah, he is meant to be fair.
Yeah,
Really
it's
good.
very interesting.
Yeah.
It just makes it all up on the spot.
Yeah, it
I'd
is
be shit
What,
scared
is
to
it
be
freestyle?
that. Yeah,
Full freestyle?
Yeah, literally, he basically stands there and goes, shout out some words, and he wants them to be as ridiculous as you can possibly imagine. Like, I've seen him a couple of times now, and the first time I seen him was before I started stand-up, so it was about 2.5 years ago. And I was sort of going to like King Gong every night. Do you know the comedy store?
Yeah.
Show? If you don't know what a gong show is, it's just basically new comedians going up and they'll try and last 5 minutes. If an audience thinks of shit, they hold up a card. If 3 cards go up, they get booted off. And I went there and I was watching every single month because it was only nights I knew of, and that and Beat the Frog. And I was just trying to pluck up the courage to go and do it. And I was sat on the front row. And this guy goes up, and it was MC Hammersmith. And I've never seen anyone do as well as he did at King Gong. He got a standing ovation. It was ridiculous. Have you ever been to King Gong?
No, I've never been, but I want to go.
I'll take you because I don't. I'm never
Really
going to do it
wanna go.
again. I'm never going to do the show again because it
Did
just
you get-
the mind. Oh, I've been gonged off about 5 times there. Yeah.
Fair, like really big comics have been.
Yeah, like I genuinely reckon, like some acts that have been going for like 20 years but haven't got a name would get carded. At
I
King
think
Gong.
I think Josh
They
Jones
just-
got it once. I remember them talking about it on your podcast we mentioned 14 times.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm sure I said, and Josh Jones is a funny guy.
Yeah,
Like,
it's-
funny guy.
I've genuinely seen so many really good acts. Like there was a guy, you've heard of Beat the Frog World Series. Well, that's just like essentially everyone who's won. There's the guy that came second in the World Series did King Gong 5 days, like 6 days later, and got carded off within 20 seconds.
Jesus.
And he came second in the best of the best for that year. Do you know what I
fuming,
mean?
wouldn't you? You'd be
It's just so
fuming.
ridiculous. But like to go and watch as an audience member is just quality.
Have you
Like
ever-
you're watching your mates just die because some of them take it so personally. If you go down and you go like, "This is what King Gong is," let's just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
It is like nothing's going to happen. It's the lowest stakes gig you can possibly get. No one really cares. There's 35 acts on. They're not going to remember you regardless of whether you're good or shit. So if you just go down and just accept it for that, great. But you see some of them and they're properly sweating up there, and you're like, just don't worry about it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
just
You're going to
relax.
get carded off, and that's fine. I did my first gig there, and I
Your
lasted
first
40
gig?
seconds.
First gig?
Yeah, I don't even count it as my first gig. With anyone else, I said I do. My first gig was at the Frog. Because
Yeah.
I don't count it. I did 40 seconds. It was
I'd take 40 seconds. I'm 40
sure you
seconds. Every time of my life, I'm fucking
about
buzzing.
4 times as long as usual, isn't it?
No comment.
Tony's next door. Should we ask her?
She wouldn't. If you try and get her to go on camera, you'll get a swift no.
I bet you've tried, haven't you? Yeah.
It'll only be quick.
She comes in every night. Why is the softbox still so? You're not recording till Tuesday. Don't worry about it, babe. Get on the floor.
Get Barry White on in the background. Alexa.
Who's he? Never mind. Shit joke. My bad.
I was going to say, what?
So yeah, did my first ever gig there. Lasted 40 seconds. Horrendous. It was just awful. Really didn't enjoy it.
What-
Made me feel sad about
Did you
myself.
prepare your jokes well in advance for that one, or did you try and freestyle?
Yeah,
it,
so like
or-
I said, I'd been going up for like every month, just trying to pluck up the courage to finally do it, because it was very daunting. I didn't have a
Yeah.
lot of self-confidence back in days. That's got deep. Look at you, just like, it's all right, carry on. It's been great for the views. But
I've got tissues, don't worry.
It's gone on
I was
TikTok.
sat there. Comedian cries on camera.
What a pussy.
Frankie's what a pussy.
So you can't post that on TikTok now because you said pussy and you said shadow band nightmare.
So I don't watch our TikToks anyway, so.
I've been shadow banned. But like I say, I lasted 40 seconds, and I remember it so well. I was on 17th, So there's 17 acts, 16 acts went before me. They had an interval of the lot. And I was the first one after the interval. And 16 had been on before me, and not one of them lasted the 5 minutes. So I'm looking at that and I'm going, what has everyone... Because I'm a bit weird. Like, I try and assess situations and what happened. And I'm looking at it going, what did every comic do that didn't work? And they all did material. So I tried to just go on and wing it and just basically... You know, I sort of went on and was like, the comics are coming up here and this is a dream, and you're just like, fuck him. And they just went, yeah, and fuck you too. And I felt like fucking like making a joke about the night situation would get something. It just fuck off. And I remember Danny McLaughlin was the MC, and I sort of looked to him and was like, why is none of this working? He was like, don't know, crack on. Yeah, like I say, I would never do it again, but I'll take you when it's the Comedy Store's like having renovations or something at the minute. But when it does open up again, we'll go down, because it is, as an audience member, it's great. Like, I've seen Danny McLaughlin card someone off because he was wearing Lonsdale trainers once. It was fucking brilliant. Like, and that's the sort of night it is. This is what I mean. It's so low stakes. You'll be sat there like fucking sweating, gearing up for it for 2 hours, and then you finally go on and you're wearing Velcro shoes, and Mick Ferry just goes, nah, like, it's just, yeah, you just have to take it for what it is. But it is a fun watch.
Yeah, it's just a laugh, innit?
Is that the one down on Deansgate then?
Yeah.
Have you ever beat the frog?
Yeah, I was in the World Series final with that, and I drop it in there. But I've done it a few times, because I always get really bad anxiety with Beat the Frog, because I've got such bad PTSD from when I fucking first gigged there, because they were my first sort of 5 gigs there. I didn't do any others except for just Beat the Frog every 6 weeks or whatever. And I fucking just kept dying on my arse at every single one of them. And I put loads of weight on it, even though it really means nothing. I put loads of weight on it. And the first year, I remember my World Series heat, and I just died a death with stuff that was working in other places. I just let it get in my head. So I was like, next year I'm gonna try my best and see what we can do. And I got through to the final, and then died in the final.
Oh.
I didn't die. It was just not good enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, I came off stage and I was like, if I'd have had the set I had in the heat, I feel like I might have won it. Because the guy that won it, he had a couple of jokes that didn't really... The crowd was just a bit eggy that night. Like, he's great. He's called Dan Nightingale, he's superb. And he had a couple of jokes that didn't land. And so it's like, maybe, you know, on a different night, it could have worked out. But, yeah, sometimes it just doesn't go your way. And it's
part of the course, isn't it?
But it doesn't mean anything. Especially with the fact that I felt so bad for Dan, because, like, he smashed it to win. Like, winning is like massive, and it does give you a bit of a boost for a few months. We went into lockdown again the week after.
Oh, that's gutting.
And by the time we come out of
just
it,
as your career's
about it doesn't matter that you won the World Series 6 months later. I mean,
it's in I suppose it's in your Insta bio. Apart from that,
that's about as far as it gets you. But I did feel bad for him. But to be fair, it was great of the Frog to manage to put it on, because I think we came out of lockdown on like middle of September. Their World Series starts in October, and they just had that month out of lockdown, and then like 5 days later we went back into lockdown again.
Oh, imagine.
So, it was brutal.
It'd be gutting if you won that.
Yeah, it would be. Well, it wouldn't be gutting. It would be like a bit bittersweet.
Bittersweet, yeah. You're still missing. Shall I have a quick break, boys?
Yeah, if you want to, yeah. No
well, quick break. Back for part 2. To be fair, I think this is going to be a 3-part, to be honest. I'm having fun, so let's have a 3-part.
Yeah, sounds good. No worries.
See you later. Part 2. Welcome back, people. Just acting like we haven't been chatting for like half an hour. I always find it a little bit awkward, like just as if like you got to stop talking to then carry on the conversation. You're like, am I coming? Am I going? Don't really know. Yeah. I wanted to ask you a few. I know bigging up names, probably not, but like, can you name some of the comics that you've kind of been on bills with or you've worked for?
No.
I mean, I've got some going to my head, but
thanks for watching today. That's
it. I'm done. I've not been on any bills with any big names, like really big. Like I've been to. It's tough because I've done the gigs that they've done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a gig in Chester, Carl Alexander's, and one of my mates was in the middle when Jason Manford was on. Now, I've done the middle there. I just wasn't on that night. So but I went to watch it, and Russell Kane was on as well. And someone asked me recently, like, do you get starstruck like with the people you meet? And I said no, because they started like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just got far further than I'm going to.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, we've seen your part. Seen your work. Probably by quite some margin, actually. But yeah, they started where I did, so I don't really. Maybe if I met like someone who was massive, like the Bill Burrs and the Heckles,
Oh, yeah,
but that's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? They're at a level you can only dream of potentially being. But Beth said recently, someone asked me in front of Beth, and she said the only time she semi got starstruck was when we went to a gig and Russell Kane was on, and she said that was like because she used to watch him on the telly. You know what I mean? But a lot of the time, gigging with people that like the vast majority of the public haven't heard of. So it's.
Who's the biggest act you've had on at your event?
Probably Roe. Or maybe Mick Ferry. Roe's probably bigger than Mick Ferry now.
Justin Morehouse is
as well, yeah.
And he just did new material. He was fucking funny.
Yeah.
Just did new material. He just came on and just seemed so like seamless.
So how does it work? Like, how do you pick who's the opener and who's the headliner?
It tends to just be an experience more than anything. And if they're willing to do it, like Justin Morehouse came down and did it, and God bless him, he didn't ask for any money. I told him I'd pay him to close, and he said, "No, I just want to do new stuff. Don't pay me."
Oh, sick.
So I got to put that to a headliner for like a couple of weeks later, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was dead sound, and he just came down. And he said, "I just want to go on first, and I want to do some new stuff." And I was like,
"Sweet,
yeah, no worries." But I felt guilty. I was like, "Mate, I'll pay you. Like, we have a fee for the open." He was like, "Don't worry about it."
What a nice guy.
I guess.
What a nice guy.
I felt so guilty though. I was like, "Thanks for doing it for free."
Thanks, Ren.
But yeah, he's class, and I don't know. You have to go through the list of the hundreds of people that apply, and a lot of the time you just end up booking people you've worked with before. Because if 50 people apply and each of them sends you a 10-minute clip, you can't watch it.
So do you have applications? How does it work then?
You advertise in the comedy forums basically, and then like the acts will see them. But again,
I did not know. I thought it was literally just going to be like an Instagram messaging job or a Facebook messaging job.
I do that a lot. Like that's how I got Roe and Nightingale and stuff, because they don't apply to gigs. They get the gigs. But I just dropped them a message and asked them if they wanted to do it, and they did. But a lot of the time, like I say, you advertise on the forums, and then
you've had some funny middle acts though. Where
they're newer acts like me that are coming up.
You watch some acts though, and I'm always sat there thinking, you're better than a headliner.
Some middles are like hidden talent.
The middle's like the
sweet
one spot though. Like the middle's the easiest spot. One. Like if you watch that middle open, they'd probably die a death. Like it can be horrendous sometimes, and that switch from middle to opening is really tough. And it's like when you've got to remember when you come to Feel Good, it's like Adam did a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
The middle act did his solid gold 10.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like you've got Adam who's doing this bit that he thought of on the way there, and you've got this middle act doing something that he's been refining for a year. So of course sometimes they can be, maybe not better, but maybe have a better set or a better ride of it and stuff. So
yeah, it makes sense. I just remember there was one mid act. It's your mate as well. He was a mank lad.
Carl.
Yeah.
Carl's
so funny.
He's going to be massive. He's really good.
It's so funny. I can imagine down south probably not as big, but up north, like
I don't think he gigs down south. It's hard to justify it sometimes because, like I say, I'm going to Cardiff next week. It's going to cost me a full tank of fuel and food. And I'm getting 20 quid. So it's like, if you don't have a lot of spare income, I don't know what Carl's situation is. I hope you don't mind me saying, but it's hard to justify the fact it's going to cost you 100 quid to go down to London to just do a spot to get seen. Where if it doesn't go well, they won't book you for anything else.
Yeah.
So it's hard to justify going down south and stuff, but you do have to do it. It's just when you start getting paid in the north, it gets you a bit of leeway to go, I can afford to lose that bit.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, most people work full-time jobs, don't they?
Yeah.
Stand-up comics, so it's just.
And that's another thing as well. It's hard to like if I want to go to London, I have to finish work at 12 and then you've got to take half a day off work to do it, which is part of the reason I lost my job. But you got to spend money to make money, I guess.
That's a good way of excusing it for yourself.
Yeah.
Well, you got a mortgage now, mate, so
I'll be fine. Don't worry about that.
It's not lose too much money.
So you're saying like the opening slots a lot more difficult. Why is that, do you reckon?
Because they're just not as warm, and often they've come to see the headliner or they're hammered. Like if they've not come to see the headliner, they're probably hammered by then. Right. I'll stop clicking that. So, but that's so annoying.
So you thought, so annoying, but I'm doing more.
It can be, like I say, it's just they're not as warm. Maybe the MC did a crap job, and maybe they're just not as up for it. But I don't know. I feel like at Feel Goods they're always quite up for it. And it's a good night. And we've only had like one or two acts night, and it has been in the middle each time. But every single sort of opener and headliner just smashes it. But they're great. So I only try to book acts that I think audiences are going to want to see, because it doesn't make sense for me to book acts that aren't very good, because the audiences stop coming back. And
it don't make sense.
Yeah,
it's a swings and roundabouts kind of thing. So you need to make sure you can elevate.
Yeah.
If Mick Ferry comes away, you met him for the first time.
Yeah.
He goes to the green room the day after. He's like, "Oh, I had a great gig last night."
Yeah, that's
it was run
like,
by.
You want them to talk about it.
Yeah.
And like people like obviously when Adam and Dan plugged it on Have a Word, if they've got any pro acts that listen to that, they might go, all right.
I think most pro acts probably listen to it. Like
You'd be surprised though. To be fair, maybe I don't know. I've not looked at their listenership.
Their insights.
I think they have a lot of newer acts listening to it, mainly because of Dan, because obviously he did Beat the Frog for so many years.
Yeah.
Like every act that's sort of come up knows. Like Dan's the first comic you meet, really, the first big name comic that you meet on the circuit, because Beat the Frog. So well, not anymore because he's retiring.
Yeah. I like his reasoning though. I like his reasoning though. He was like, I'm 40-year-old. I need to stop doing it. I'm like, fair enough.
It is so young, this Beat the Frog audience.
Yeah.
It's like they get free entry for students.
Right.
So it's just every year they've just got a new influx of students. And it's some fucking art student that's 18 years old. You're just like, I don't think this is very progressive. Right, my bad.
Definitely from Coventry somewhere.
Comedy written on it. Just grow up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dan's right. He's like I say, when you get a bit older, they might not want to hear what this guy's got to say about his kids, because I don't think any 18-year-old can imagine wanting to have kids.
Definitely.
No.
I mean, so where do you want to take Feel Good then? So like, what's the ultimate kind of goal for you in Feel
Just
Good?
for it to keep getting busier, and for me to not have to do as much promotion for it. Like it's great when the nights selling out, and I don't have to do as many posts. You know, when I can see like it's 4 days away and 50 tickets have been sold, I'm like, I can chill now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like tomorrow we've not sold many at all. And so I've got to keep plugging that tomorrow and hope that we sell a lot on the day though. Like I remember there was one, I had one of my mates, Lee, come up from down south, and he was doing the middle act, so he was unpaid, and he was coming down. He was basically like, wanted to try out some new stuff. And I messaged him on the morning off. I was like, lad, we've sold 16 tickets. Like I totally get it. If you want to just fuck it off, I can message you and get you on a different week when I know it's going to be busy. And he was like, I'll still do it. And there was 65 in. So in between like 11 a.m. and 8 p.m, we sold.
He would have been fuming as well.
I said that to him. I was like, I'm so glad. Like in his car journey alone, we sold 40 tickets. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm so glad that we.
Wonder why that is.
I have no idea. I think it's a lot. People are still used to everything being last minute because of COVID and stuff. And I think when I advertise saying, "Oh, it's tonight," they're talking to the missus. What do you want to do tonight? Oh, I don't know. Should we get a pizza? And then he goes on Instagram and sees like, oh, that comedy night's on. It's 100 yards away. Should we go there?
Fair, man. The amount of tickets I've sold just in work being like, what are you doing tonight? Nothing.
Well, that's
don't go comedy because it's usually I've got to wait around after work.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do you want to come for a drink? We go for a drink, and they're like, do you want to come comedy? I'm like, yeah, go on. like that. And they love it as well. Like they've gone back. One of the lads, Dave, he went back last week
by himself.
I didn't go.
Last week was good one.
Mate.
Last week was really good. Which one was last week? Who closed last week? Phil Ellis. Yeah, it was a really good one. That. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
So have you got any like exclusive guests you may be looking to come on or?
No.
Come on, you need to be more organised than that.
I mean, there's headliners booked, but they're not. It's not Jason Manford. Do you know what I mean? Like if that's what you're asking me, have I got fucking Bill Burr coming down? Yeah, he's coming down for the 12th. Yeah.
Opening, obviously.
Yeah. Unpaid middle 10. He's full of the tricks like that. Yeah.
I'm not into American comedy. I don't know why. I've just never been watching it, and everyone raves about it.
Maybe you're not exposed to it. Like, it's not uncommon. Like, people ask me like your favourite comic is all the time, and I just tell them people they've never heard of. Like,
who's your favourite comic?
There we go.
People would know. There we go.
You've probably heard of him because he was on Have a Word. Daniel Sloss.
Yes.
Oh,
he's my favourite in the UK. He's like the best actor in the country for me. Like, I don't think there's one better.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
When I was going down in London at the weekend, he's got all of his stuff all over the tube stations. I was like, go on, lad.
Yeah, he's massive in Europe and America, which is that's what's really impressive, because he's not at the level of like, Kevin Bridges and maybe John Bishop.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he'll sell tickets to like 1,000 people here, and that's great. He's smashing it. But he's not like doing an arena like Manford.
Yeah.
But Manford doesn't do arenas in Europe.
Yeah.
Whereas Sloss has got the same venues
following
everywhere.
Yeah.
Which is because he went on Conan like 13 times or something ridiculous. Like Conan O'Brien, like
Conan's gone now, isn't it?
I've no idea.
I swear it's not running anymore.
I don't know. I'm not American. I don't watch it. I just know.
I don't know where I saw it. I think I saw it on Twitter. But yeah, I swear it's not going anymore.
I've no idea. But it's like
Maybe.
Sloss and him really
Let us know in the
got along.
comments.
Yeah,
Try and get the engagement.
Actually, it's coming back for a rerun. But Sloss went on like 13 times, and he credits a lot of his like American and European success to Conan. But like I say, the same sort of numbers he does here, he'll do in America, which is massive. Like he posts pictures of like a fucking theatre in Pittsburgh, and it's bigger than the Academy, and he's sold it out, and you're like, well, that's fucking insane.
What's happening here?
But he's so good. He's literally the best in the country for me. I think he's just unbelievable.
Yeah, he's funny. I've never seen him live though. I'd like to see him live. Definitely.
I've seen him live about 3 or 4 times. He's so nice as well, because I've met him about 4 times, and he was like, he remembered me from the first time we met. So I met him after one of his shows when I'd done like 7 gigs.
Yeah.
And I sort of like, typical new act, like, oh, yeah, I don't know if you know this about me, but I do stand up as well. And I just wonder if you got any advice. And him and like Kai Humphries, who opens for him, it's like his best mate, and they've opened for, like, he's opened for him for 10 years. They were just like, just keep gigging, just do that. Like, I don't care if you're going 500 miles for 4 men and a dog, just keep gigging, just keep doing that. And it sounds so cliche, because it is, but it's the only advice anyone can give you. And then I met him again like a year and a half later, and he remembered me. And he was like, oh, fucking hell, yeah, we know each other. And I was like, yeah, I met you after your show. He's like, yes, you stand up, right? And he just... Sick. But yeah, the amount of people he must meet, do you know what I mean? And to still remember me.
Instagram bio.
Yeah.
I know Daniels.
And he was just dead sound, and he asked me how it had been going, and the first thing Sloss ever did was support Tom Stade on tour, and that's the first thing I've ever done. So I sort of told him about that, and he was like, fucking hell, no way, that's the thing. And I was, yeah, it was really cool, but he's just dead sound.
That's fucking mental, that. I bet... Do you reckon there's some acts that you wouldn't want to provide support for? Like, do you reckon it'd be that hard?
The racist ones. Don't want to do that. I won't say any names.
I mean,
with really dodgy views, and yeah, I'll leave them alone.
I meant like hard to open
I'm not
for.
in a position to be choosy, to be honest.
No, you're not a small, like, there's a lot of small comics than you.
Yeah, but they, in 6 months they'll be at my level. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not at any sort of level that I just a middle act at the moment. I'm not quite an open spot. I'm not an opener or a headliner. Just in the middle section. I'm like, what's 2 up from Premier League? Or 2 below?
Like League One.
Still League One.
Like League One, I guess. Yeah, not even Championship.
I'm League Two.
Oldham Athletic.
You
I'm
have
freezing. But yeah, no, I'm not anywhere. I'm not even made a dent in the circuit at all yet. You expected
yes, but
me
you will
to,
do.
I like to think so, yeah. But you expected me to be bigger when you invited me on this.
No. I feel like you downplay yourself a lot. Like, how many comedians can say that they've done nationwide support for Tom Stade?
Probably quite a lot. He has a lot of. He's toured a lot.
Yeah, I know, but like,
he tours every year.
Yeah, but like, most of the feel good comics that
No,
you book for middle acts won't be able to say that. That's what I'm trying to get at.
But they've got other accolades themselves.
Yeah,
they've got
of
other
course.
credits and stuff. I don't see it as. It sounds really soppy, but you're on. Like, fucking sounds so pathetic coming out of my mouth.
I like before you said it. You said it twice.
You know what I mean? I've got to preface
this
it.
is shite, but I need to say it.
If you compare yourself to other people, you just end up getting stuck. Like, you just. I don't know. I don't really try. I try not to do that, because then you just you see people doing better, and you get gutted, and you feel just down on yourself, or you see people not doing as good, and you become an arsehole.
Do you reckon it's to do? There's a little bit of luck involved in stand-up.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, because it seems like that from the outside.
Yeah, in every sense of the word. I think there's a thing going around about Jimmy Carr. He's got like a sponsored poster, and there's just like a little funny clip. But he says in that, he said, "There's far better comics than me that just didn't get the same opportunities I did."
Yeah.
And that's true. Like, Jimmy Carr's great, but I can think of loads of comics that I think about. I've just said Daniel Sloss is the best in the country. He's not selling out arenas yet. He might do, touch wood, I hope he does. But he's not. I don't think he's going to be as universally recognised in this country as Jimmy Carr is.
Yeah, I think TV's a big like dictator for it. It's like, you watch some of the comedians on Mock the Week, and there's some comedians on there that they're not the best.
No.
Like, and they're getting like some big time like TV deals now, and you're just thinking like, when I go to Feel Good, I've seen better comics than them, like a lot better.
Because they're obsessed with diversity.
Yeah,
a lot of the time.
There's some.
I love dancing.
Right. Diversity, dance troupe, Asher Banjo.
Oh, kill yourself.
I was waiting, and I was like,
that was horrendous. That's what he said.
He said a lot worse. That's a problem. He said a lot worse.
Yeah, is that the end of the show? Yeah,
There's a slot if you want.
yeah, I'll put you on in the middle. I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, no, they're just obsessed with having like diverse lineups and stuff, and it doesn't necessarily always bring the best acts. And sometimes they'll put on acts that maybe in 5 years they'd be ready for it, but they've put them on too early, and they're not quite as good as like Rose should have got live at the Apollo 4 years ago, and it's a travesty he didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it's great for him, but it is just a case of like finally. And I look at it and go, Dan Nightingale's been one of the best in the country for 10 years, and he's never done it. Why? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because he's a middle-aged white male, innit? Like,
Right, Dan, if you're listening.
you are listening. Get in the comments.
But yeah, I don't know. It's tough because I don't think they put the best acts they can on. I think they put a diverse range of acts, which I also think needs to happen. Like, it's great that more women are doing it, and it's great that there's people from like ethnic backgrounds doing it. But I think they need more working class comics on, like Row and people like that. And they just don't. It seems to always be like, oh, you've got an agent and you live in London, cool.
Yeah,
it's not that diverse if every one of your comics is from the same town. You know, regardless of their gender or ethnicity, if they're all from the same town in London, it's not that diverse, is it?
What was your 5-act bill then?
Say again?
So if you had like a 5-act bill.
Oh, I don't know. Don't ask me.
So you got one compare, you've got an opener, you've got headline and 2 mids.
Is this the best comedy night ever?
Yeah, or if you can think of
I've
3.
no idea.
Obviously Daniel Sauce is headlining, we've established that. We've established
Are you
that.
comparing or are you doing material?
I have no idea. I wouldn't be on it, I don't think.
I want to be sat in the front row like he's sat there with his
If I'm
food
trying to
and
put on
drink.
the best night, I probably wouldn't put myself on it yet. To be fair.
Who do you reckon's the best compare? I think that's quite a big debate.
Nightingale's great. Danny McLaughlin's great. Mick Ferry's great. He's unbelievable. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Because obviously, probably the most famous
Paul.
compare is
Paul Smith.
Yeah, Paul Smith's great. Yeah, but he's great. But he said it himself. He doesn't really do anything different to what you know other compares. He's very good, and he's really quick, and he finds angles that a lot of comics don't think of. But he openly admits himself, I would imagine, that he doesn't do anything. Like I got criticised once. I did a gig and I just went up and did crowd work because it wasn't a gig. Do you know what I mean? Like I wasn't going up.
What? Did you just go up in the middle of the street, get a microphone stand? Here we go. Come on,
one of those guys. Just
welcome to Stockport.
If I'm busted, I wouldn't do it in Stockport. They don't have money there. But I went. What was I talking about? Yeah, I did this gig, and I thought I'm not going to go up and do material. It's just not. It's not the right setup. The talking. I thought it's just not. I'm just going to go up and do crowd work. And I went up and did crowd work, and if you don't mind me saying, it went really well. I feel like I smashed it. It was great.
Yeah.
And but it is a case of like, where are you from? What do you do? Who are you here with?
Yeah.
Which is all the questions Paul Smith asked. But that's not exclusive to Paul Smith. It's the questions every compare asks.
How else are you going to find information to make funny? Like,
Yeah.
What else are you going to ask?
But because Joe Bloggs has only ever watched Paul Smith, you think, oh, you've sold Paul Smith there. And the guy came up to me afterwards. He was like, oh, you tried too hard to be Paul Smith. I was like, what? By talking to the crowd? What are you talking about? But like,
That's what you do for a living.
Paul Smith has said it himself on like podcasts and stuff. Like Adam Rose had grief trying to be like Paul Smith. He's like in like Lad Bible comics and comments and stuff like that. Like he'll say, oh, what do you do? And then people in the comments will be like, oh, he's just trying too hard to be Paul Smith. And you're like,
no, you just
you
seen Paul
talking
Smith on
about?
YouTube. Like,
what other questions would you come up with? Like, what do you have for your tea at the weekend? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's the only way you
how
find
many pets
it.
have you got?
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
Imagine if you were at a comedy night and someone came up to you and went, hey mate, how many pets have you got? First question they asked you,
You
you'd
say
be like,
someone came up to you like it's just going to be a random audience in the interval. Not even while the show's on, just in the interval, a smackhead comes up. How many pets you got? A nice one.
I mean, you've had some interesting people.
Yeah, you spoke about it on this one.
Yeah,
didn't you?
it
Well,
was
God
a
love him.
little bit funny.
It was
God
a
love
lot
him.
of
That was the night Mick Ferry was on, wasn't it? 'Cause
Yeah.
he looks exactly like Mick Ferry, which was
Yeah.
priceless. It's like having an argument with the mirror, he said, didn't he?
Yeah. He was stood there at the door, Mick Ferry just there like, what do I do?
He smashed it that night, to be
He
fair, 'cause
did,
it was
he
super
nailed it.
awkward.
Yeah.
And he actually said, because I remember, like I say, I remember stuff like that. When something's happening, I try and remember what's going on. And he said, like, don't look at that, look at me. He's not worth looking at or something. And it helped loads because the audience were just kept still focusing on him while the bar staff had to try and get this fucking lunatic out.
Yeah.
He was, he still goes in the bar because he knows the owner so well. Because one of the owner's other bars, he lives above it. so you can't like kick him out. Do you know what I mean?
All right, yeah,
Because
yeah.
like he's got to walk through there to get to his house. Do you know what I'm saying? So what do you do in that situation? But he's basically said like if there's ever somebody stood on the stage, you're not allowed in, which is fine.
Yeah.
And it was just, do you know
He's
what
waiting
happened?
outside 15 minutes, checking his watch.
It's an interval now. I can come in after. But do you remember what happened? Do you know what happened?
Yeah, so you basically told him to be quiet because he was just shouting.
He wasn't
why was
just
he
shouting. He was just being a pleb. So in field guns, they
I've
have
not heard pleb in ages.
they have those metal tables, don't they?
Yeah.
And he had like massive sovereign rings on. He's just going like that on metal tables. Now I don't need to tell you, metal on metal is fucking loud. And when Mick Ferry's trying to get a bit of nuance, it's all you can fucking hear. Like the guy's playing pinball in the corner by himself. And I went up to him and was just like, "Hey mate, if you don't mind," because I feel like I'm quite friendly and like I tried to be.
We were sat literally like two tables away, and we heard everything that you said.
Yeah.
And you were just like, "Oh, excuse me, mate. Can you just possibly keep your noise
Yeah,
down?
because I'm not going up,
stage."
listen,
Yeah.
fucking chill out. Do you know what I mean? I just thought
Shut
of
the
it-
fuck up.
Kill yourself.
You said picking him up, dragging him out.
But I said to him, I was like, "Hey mate, if you don't mind, just keep the voice down there and stop tapping on the table because you know the acts are trying to do the thing. Nice one, mate. Really appreciate it." And he sort of went like, "Yeah, no worries."
Yeah.
Mate. And then I fucking went and sat down, and he's just making direct eye contact with me, going.
Gotta respect
What
it.
are you doing? I was sat at the
respect
table at that point. I was like, I've just told
Love
you.
it.
What are you doing? I was like, just stop it. Why are you being a pleb? Do you know what I mean? Like, why are you being an obed?
You've got to love a
Stop
shit house, you know, haven't you?
And I went and told the owner, because at that point you can't reason with him. He's got to leave. You can't do anything. He's just disturbing the night. You can see other people looking around. And I hate that. Like I don't mind like if people are heckling and stuff because it adds something to the night.
Yeah.
But if you're just talking and ruining it for other people, like they've paid money. Stop being just a twat for no reason. And I went up and told the owner, and they didn't do anything. Like, because the owner was actually outside dealing with something else. The bar staff were too busy, and there was just nobody. No one could deal with it in that present moment. So I was like, right, fucking hell. And then he's gone up to the guy who I went and spoke to at the bar, and he's just gone, right, just go and sit down and chill out. And as he's gone and walked past me, he's come up to me and he's shook my hand to sort of say sorry. And I was like, don't worry about it, mate. It's all good. Just go and enjoy the rest of your night. Just trying to again diffuse the situation. And he held on to my hand, so he's holding my hand like that, and he's gripping it tighter. I was just like, what? Like, stop it. I felt like there was either fucking like what are they called that keep you afloat in the water?
What,
Life
life
vest.
jacket?
Like, I felt like I had a life vest on my hand. He was just squeezing it. It was getting bigger and bigger. I was like, oh my God. So I stood there and he wanted me to apologise to him. And I went, why? So what have I done? Why do I need to apologise to you? He was like, well, I've apologised to you. You apologise to me. I was like, that's not how life works. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but he didn't say that, did he? He didn't say that. He shouted that.
Oh yeah.
Very
He was
loud.
like, say sorry. And then he let go of my hand and he's doing that in my face with his fucking big sovereign ring. And he'd have battered me. Like, he was a fucking lunatic guy.
Yeah.
But he could barely walk.
Well,
He was hammered that night.
He's been there though. You know what I mean?
He's been
seen
there.
Things. He's seen things. He'd have levered me. I'm too much of a beta male. He'd have battered me. Right? And
He'd
at
been out in
that point, I
Burnage
just
on
went up
a
and got
Tuesday night.
I went up and got the bar staff and was just like, listen, he's trying to get violent now. Just fucking get rid of him. And they just escorted him out. But obviously, as you know, it wasn't quiet when they were trying to do that.
No.
And I seen him like 3 weeks later in there because I sort of said to the owner, I was like, listen, why is he in here? He got barred, and he explained that I've told him that he can't come in when there's people on stage. So I was like, right, sound. He had no idea who I was. He was hammered and came up to me and was chatting to me about his dog that he had that died in like 1994. I was like, you literally tried to hit me 3 weeks ago. Like, how hammered have you got to be to not remember the guy you nearly had a fight with?
Yeah.
Because I've had
how many fights
very
did he get
few
into?
fights.
Yeah, it's very true.
Like, I don't think I've had any fights in my life, and I think I'd remember them if I did. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they'd be unusual moments that I would remember them for quite a long time. I wouldn't be able to look at the person I tried to have a fight with and just not have a clue who he was. Yeah, brutal.
You're trying to say that to me and Dan, though. Don't think we've ever had a fight, really.
No.
Together or?
I mean,
I would.
I probably would. I'd be more likely to fight Dan than a random person on a night out. I should say that.
Yeah, same. Quick
And on that
segue. I don't know. I'm going to try and segue this best I can. Talking about fights, how do you avoid fights with your girlfriend with some of the stuff that you say on stage?
Oh, because it's not true. None of it's true.
Of course it's bollocks. You know Beth. You actually know her.
I've got a joke about how we had a gangbang together. She's not. What? No. It's bollocks.
Is that not true?
No. You're like, why did I get an invite if it's true? Yeah, no, it's so little of it's true.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a routine about how I'm bad in bed. I'm actually a stallion, but that's no one laughs at that. Like, no, so much of it's bollocks. I just write stuff that I think is funny. Like,
That's what it's been now, isn't it?
yeah,
I've noticed you do the same on social media as well sometimes.
Oh, totally,
Yeah.
Because
Brilliant.
social media is not real, and if you believe it, you're a moron.
It's weird though, because we know you. And,
Yeah.
And Tony don't know you as well. And Tony will like read some of the comments and be like, oh, can't say that. And I'm like, well,
I had
don't actually like that, is he?
I had one of my mates pull me up on it recently because I posted a picture of Leeds Fest, and I just put the caption like Leeds Fest was a good time. And at the time that he seen that, I was telling him about how when we went to Leeds Fest, someone threw, do you know one of those vape pens that you can get, the Juul?
Yeah.
Someone threw one of them. Everyone in the crowd's throwing shit. It's so immature, Leeds Fest. I'm never going to go again. It was fucking painful.
Because everyone goes who was 16 and we went when we were 16.
Yeah, everyone had braces on. I was like, I want to know when they've got... No, yeah, I was about to. Yeah. But everyone was just like dead young and they're throwing stuff all the time. And Beth got caught in the head with one of the Juul vape pens. And it got
What, just jump up and
Andy
Carroll.
But that hit her in the head and she had a cut and we ended up missing like half a two-door cinema club because she was just in tears. Like it really hurt because they're like proper metal.
They're like
and
bricks.
it cut her head a little bit and stuff. And I was telling my mate about that and then he went on Instagram and seen that I put Leeds Fest was a good time. And he was like, I thought you said it was a good time. It's like, what do you want me to write, you fucking lunatic? Oh yeah,
Fuck
Leeds
you
Fest
to the guy.
would have been good if my girlfriend didn't get... Look at this picture of the cut on her head. Of course it's bollocks. Everyone on social media just has bollocks. Like no one talks about what's actually happening in their life because if you did...
Apart from Karens. Right?
Oh, yeah,
your regular Facebook Karens.
But everything I try to put out, I'm hoping it's either funny or
Yeah.
positive because I'm not trying to be the guy that's just miserable online all the time. Like I feel like if people do follow me, I hope it's just like people that are a fan of my stuff. I don't want them to go online and be like, fucking hell, he's moody all the time. So but no one's just happy all the time. And if you are, then you're probably American. But I don't like... You've got to just act like everything's perfect in your life because you don't want people to be depressed reading your stuff.
It's a good point. I'm not a fan of social media.
I hate
think
it.
That's why
I genuinely hate it. I have to force myself to post.
Yeah, we don't do we like in our personal lives.
No,
like,
yeah.
I can't remember the last time I tweeted. I can't remember the last time I saw
don't
you
tweet.
tweet. And we've got to try and promote this on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah,
and it's
brutal.
usually me messaging Dan or Dan messaging me, who's trying to just fob it off on the other person because I don't know what's fucking right.
Yeah.
It does work though, and you've got to do it if you are a comic.
Yeah,
Like, I actually said to Beth, I was like, I need you to force me to start. We got to, it was like the fucking 29th of a month when I fucking realised that like I'm not posting enough. I need if you go on any comic who's big, they've got 1,500 posts,
Yeah.
800 posts, 900 posts. I had like 60 at the time, so I was like, I'm not gonna get an audience at all. So I said to Beth, I was like, I'm gonna post every single day in May, whatever month it was, and I need you to force it. If I forget, I need you to get onto me, and she did. And I think I posted like 26 out of the 30 days, and my following count went up by like 400. Because I was just,
Fucking
and that's
hell.
not me bragging. It's just like you need to. I wouldn't be. Why would I be bragging about 400? But I had like
That's a lot of
700
people.
followers.
That's a lot.
In like May of this year. And now I've got like fucking 1,200. And again, it's not... I know, fucking big.
time.
Yeah. But like, you have to do it. And I hate it. I like I say, I have to force myself to do it. I find it all such a chore. It gets to a certain time. It's like, if I post that now, it's not going to get seen. It's just algorithms. And I just...
Let me live my life. Let me go to B&Q and have an argument about some screws. That's all I want to do in my life.
Yeah, that's loads easier. Yeah, what do you mean? Yeah, no, I don't enjoy it at all. I don't enjoy posting. Sometimes I do, but then sometimes you end up disheartened because I'll post like an Instagram reel, and it'll get 6,000 views.
Yeah,
and I'll
I
try
noticed
to
that.
like 6,000 is not a lot at all. You want it to get seen by more people, so you go right. How do I? Like I had one that got like fucking 8,000 views or whatever, and I thought right, I'm going to try posting at a different time, and it was just the wrong time entirely. Because when you Google what's the best time to post on Instagram, you get some American going, oh, it's 11 a.m. It's like, that doesn't apply here.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good time here. So I posted at 11 a.m. on a Sunday, and it got seen by 1,000 people. It's like, that took me 2 hours to edit.
Yeah,
It's
like
like-
some of the TikToks that we've made, like the best TikToks we've made,
Don't
I've
do
got
as well.
I've got like 100 views, and I'm like,
Yeah.
they're fucking funny. Genuinely, I mean, all of our mates
can't-
who
it's
watch it
so-
are
it
like,
changes
oh,
every
it's actually
month as
funny.
well.
Yeah, it's
But
a
the algorithm
weird
and what you've
game.
got to do, it's hard work. Like
You mini blew up on TikTok, didn't you? Once
I just had a couple of videos
was
that
that
did
100,
well,
was it
but
100k?
250,000, I think the most I got was. But
251, but I'm not counting.
wait, hang on, it's gone up since the last set.
Let's get a live count.
But yeah, the 250,000 or something. But then I'm pretty sure there's an argument about whether this actually exists, but I feel like it does because I tried posting the same thing again, it just didn't do as well. Where I just like all my videos would get like consistent like 20,000 views, and then they just got like 100 overnight and 250, and I'm like. What's happened
weird,
here?
innit? It just
And
doesn't
then
make
That was
sense.
it. Then in lockdown, I spent like loads of time trying to build a following on TikTok,
Yeah.
and then it just it was gone overnight when they shot. It's like, well, now what?
Why was it gone?
I'm pretty sure I got shadow banned. I posted a stand-up clip that was probably a bit too close to the bone or something. Apparently, they don't like stand-up on there, and it's really hard to get it to sort of progress and stuff.
Yeah.
And some acts do it really well, and they manage to make it work for them, but it can just overnight it was just gone. Do you know what I mean? I posted the next day and it got 50 views, and I posted about another 10 times, and not one of them got over like 300 views. And you're like, well, it's hard to sort of argue. Like you see people like, oh, if you've shadow ban doesn't exist, you're just not good enough. But it's like, well, I posted the same thing I've already posted that got 60,000, and that's
Yeah, it
got
don't make any
100.
sense.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
the same content. What's the problem? So I don't know.
It's weird how they bat shadow ban like comics, because if you look at some of the things that they don't do, it's just full of like just naked people, isn't it? I mean, they're just like, yeah, we'll have that.
It's so weird.
But I'll tell you
Just
what,
be your algorithm. You'll watch it on TikTok.
Naked black men, really weird. Like, why are they not catching it? It's like, I'm not seeing that actually. I guess my stuff didn't get shadow banned. I guess you've seen it at least.
no comment. Moving on. Been good fun this actually. Been great fun. Great fun.
Yeah.
It's weird this because I don't check the time and then I look at it and I'm like, I'll be just
What
talking.
time is it now?
I'll be talking for 30 minutes.
Oh, wow, that is
Yeah.
good, isn't it? How exciting.
Wow.
Wow.
Where can we find you, mate, on socials?
Aaron Wood Comedy, where every post you'll see will probably be bullshit, and I have forced myself to do it. That was
Funny, it'll be funny.
it was such a good advertisement
It
for
was
my
great.
social media
Yeah.
last
Yeah,
10
yeah.
minutes, wasn't it? Like, yeah, I hate posting it, it's all bollocks, follow me.
Makes sense. So is that across all socials then?
Yeah, just Aaron Wood Comedy and everything.
Make sure you go and head over on TikTok.
Yeah, and if you're
No, I
in
don't
the
post.
area,
I wouldn't bother. I'm not posting in a year. I don't even plug my TikTok anymore.
Don't blame you.
Yeah, I just like I say, nothing's gonna change. Like I've had videos on Instagram Reels do pretty well, and then I'll post it to TikTok to see how it does, and again, 60 views, and you're like, oh, well, never mind. Instagram likes it.
We'll have words.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you can let them know. I mean,
Insta Reels does absolute shite all for us, really. The first
TikTok
couple ones,
is better
but
at the moment.
yeah, the first couple we got a couple thousand, and then it's like a downward slope, really.
yeah, I think the lower the length of time that your videos is really helps. I think if you're constantly posting like 1 minute long videos, then it might not work.
Yeah.
But like the highest views I've got pretty much were like stand-up clips where like just little one-liners, like 20 seconds, and they've like because people have watched them till the end. Whereas if you're like 15 seconds in to like a 1 minute long reel and you scroll away, then they're not. Whereas 15 seconds of a 20-second clip is 75% of it, is it? It is, yeah. That's fucking Carol Fordham in it. But it's 75%
He's written on his
of
hand,
it.
hasn't he? He's pretty wrote it.
Whereas, like I say, if you've got a 1 minute clip and it listens 15 seconds, like you've not even scratched the surface of how long it is. So they're obviously thinking like no one's into it and they don't plug it further. But I don't know.
there you go.
Sweet game.
So yeah, just put 10-second podcast.
Put
clips
10
if you
sec-
can.
yeah.
There's going to be loads of content in there.
I mean,
We'll be rinsing this one podcast for the next few months.
easy editing though, wasn't it? Just do 10 seconds all the time.
Have you not seen the guy that does the 30-second podcast? I'm fucking devastated. I didn't think of it first.
No.
It's not even 30 seconds, it's 10 seconds, and it's just this guy. He's like, hey, welcome back to the 10-second podcast, and it's great because he'll have like a female comedian on, and he's like, I'm here with my guest female comedian. next to her. And he's like, so you're a woman in comedy. Right, that's all we got time for. And she's just like, what the fuck? And he'll be like, no, he'll have like a black guy on there who's obviously one of his mates. And he's like, hey, so I'm here with black guy XYZ. And there's like, lists his name. Yeah. And the guy like just tries to chin him. And he's like, that's all we got time for. And he's like, sponsored by cops. And he's fucking brilliant. And he's like, but he got pretty big off that on Instagram just from doing, like you say, these little 10-second clips. And they are brilliant. I really recommend you check him out. I've not given his act because I don't know what he's called.
Just type in 30-second podcast. I'm sure you'll find it.
15-second podcast, I think it is. 10-second, I don't know. Either way.
Make sure you do that after you've gone over to our socials and liked and commented and subscribed. Segue. We're getting good at this, aren't we?
Yeah, it's impressive.
No, we are not. We are not. I think I'm promoting most in work. I don't know why I do that.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, you promote feel goods in work as well.
Yeah, true.
If talking about feel goods, if you are from Stockport area or nearby, get down on a Wednesday. Every Wednesday, is it?
Yeah, it's every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Really good.
Sweet.
It's really good.
I mean, I'm shite at promoting myself. You've said it throughout, like, oh, I think you're better than you give yourself. I'm like, nah, shite that. But yeah, come down. It is really good. If anyone's,
good. I mean, we've been quite a few times.
You've been about 9 times.
There's a chance.
There's been 10 shows.
There's a chance if you go, you might see the offbeat hosts.
Yes,
in the audience. So
might. You will do. Also, if you see our stickers out and about, make sure you tag us in it. Right. Dan got drunk and gossip. And
I didn't do any of that.
Allegedly. Yeah. Can we say otherwise? Yeah, that's a pod. Join us back next week. Don't know who's going to be on. Probably a guest.
Probably me.
Aaron will be back. But cheers, that mate. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate it, mate. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, we've been trying to get it sorted out for a while, so yeah.
I mean, you've been a little bit busy, so just a little bit busy. Every time I've seen you, just been more and more stressed on the scale. Yeah, we wanted to get this off me.
No, it has been fun though. Best of luck with it, guys, as well, because you've got something good going here. So I hope it takes off for you. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, yeah. So we'll see you next week, guys.
See you next week.